also mentions December 21st, 2012, but it's broken, and we don't know what else it says. Sorry. But it's on more than one monument. So that's where the New Age religions are getting this idea that the ecliptical cycle will end on December 21st, 2012. Now that second statement I said at the beginning, the earth will fall into blackness and all will be destroyed. That statement is actually taken from a text in the 1500s that the Spanish helped the Maya write. Here's just a quick depiction of the boiling of clay coming down out of the sky, ecliptical cycle end. But this is the text that comes from the 1500s that the Maya wrote after they read the Bible. After they read about Revelations and the end of the world. And so the Spanish helped them write their own history. And so they wrote, the Quetzal shall come, the green bird shall come, he of the yellow tree place shall come, blood vomit shall come, Kukulkan, the feathered serpent shall come. And then the second time, this is the word of God, the exile shall come, and the end of the world shall come. This is the Maya's interpretation of the Christian book, Revelations. So it is not the Maya belief, that wrote December 21st, 2012. But it's quite a different belief after they got to know the Spanish. So it comes from the Maya, and it's in their words, but it's certainly very influenced by the Spanish. And you can look around at all of the different chapels in Yucatan, and the emphasis that's placed in the 1500s on apocalypse and death and destruction. All of the murals show what happens to you if you are not a good Christian and you don't conform to Christianity. You go to hell. You burn in hell. And in fact, you burn in what's called a hell mouth. And Albert Dürer and several famous artists of the time were depicting the Last Judgment, the Revelation, and what would happen to you if you weren't a good Christian. What would happen to you if you were a Maya and you still believe in those idolatrous ways? What would happen to you if you're a Muslim and you don't get out of Spain? It was a real big concern in the 1500s, so it's not surprising that the Maya is right about this. And this is what I call reinventing traditions. This is a tradition that the Maya had, but it was reinvented at the time of the Spanish conquest. And so it really doesn't have to do with traditional, pre-Hispanic Maya beliefs. It has to do with beliefs that were created or reinvented at the time that the Spanish came. This is one of my favorite pictures. This is one of the last slides. This is the pyramid of Kukulkan at Chichen Itza, a World Heritage Site. You can go and hang out. There's a club head there. But it's cool because on every solstice, the Maya designed this temple so that when the sun came down, it created a shadow on the steps that looks like an undulating serpent going down the steps. And at the very end, there's a giant serpent head. So it looks like a serpent is descending. Kukulkan, the pantheon of gods, is descending out of this temple. And so all these crystal worshipers and New Age people all gather and do all kinds of things. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So I only had enough to go for 2012. That's the true history of my calendar.
Especially since it's Aztec.
Especially since it's Aztec. You learned something today. A+. So quickly, 3 key points. Not all New Age religions have appropriated this Doomsday Prophecy, but for those that have done so, there's a great deal of variability in how people interpret this. Part of the reason that some of them have embraced the Maya calendar instead of others is that the Maya fit neatly into existing ideas about ancient wisdom and these connections that Native American people are thought to have with the universe. So the Maya Doomsday Prophecy, I think, is actually a narrative about sustainability. The Maya were great astronomers, and they knew exactly where they were in relation to larger cycles and trends in the environment and the universe. That's what sustainability is all about. Knowing your place in the world and how your actions impact other people's actions. And the Maya knew this to a T. So I think it's a sustainability narrative. But when New Age religions globalized this narrative and tried to apply it to the whole world and not just the Maya, they took it out of the context. And the narrative shifted from being about sustainability to about being collapsed, about apocalypse. So it turned the whole narrative right on its head by globalizing it. Just as a concluding point, I got really interested in, well, how long do societies last? How long do empires last? And so I started looking at all these different empires around the world and how long they lasted. The average lifespan of an empire, 215 years. some controversy there. We're way over the average lifespan of an empire. So we have reason to be worried about climate change and the financial cliff that's coming up and all of this business. The greatest threat to Earth in 2012 at the end of this year and in the future is just from the human race itself.